What's up, guys? It's Derek here. Today, we're going to VOD review a game from Replay, the most recent world champion, North American player, brought the cup home for NA for the first time ever. Now, I want to VOD review Replay because he's been having an interesting go of it recently. He was in the Freljord Cup, and we actually watched him play a bit, but these are actually the day one scores, and he ended up with 26 points at the end of day one, which was basically 2 points shy of making it to day two. So he got eliminated day one. He got day one, which is something that many people in the past have been memed on. Now, good players get day one sometimes. This is absolutely true. Sometimes you just have a horrible, horrible run of it. If you're a very strong player, then you should almost never get day one. But it can happen, if there's a hugely strange run of variance where, you get turbo unlucky or something like that. So, maybe he got unlucky there. Let's watch this game of his, which was just it was very interesting to say the least. I think it'll be a very a fun game to watch, and I won't spoil too much aside from that. So early on, we see we just natural some 2-star units, which is great. We're stuck with this rod, which is a little bit annoying on this opener. Like ideally on this opener, I feel like you definitely want just some AD items for Samira, but we'll see what Samira can do with this. It could always be like Gunblade or something like that. So we'll figure it out. We end up with transfusion cut above double trouble here. Double trouble only really good in like Talia, I would say, and cut above actually seems very very strong in this situation because we already have Samira too, who will item hold it very well. Um, okay, honestly, in this spot, I didn't watch this game insanely closely. Okay, so he does end up going for this level up here, and he just makes the Jin 2. I was thinking about potentially um, just leveling for Vi here instead of the Jin 2. Um, Akshan slash Defen, very good TFT. That is some good clean gameplay. This is something that I realized I need to do more is just call stuff out in chat because honestly, people are too lazy to scout, and then they just they troll and they pivot into your comp and it feels awful. So if you're ever playing any kind of reroll comp, just say it in chat. But yeah, I don't know. It was kind of interesting. I feel like, I mean, I don't know if he wins this fight with Vi. Like maybe Jin 2 swung it, but you saw how Jin actually stole infinite kills from the Death Blade. So actually, I feel like just playing around Vi would be better. You do get Armor Shred, which you already kind of have on Samira, and you are sort of like passing up a Jin 2. So I can see this play from Marie play. I don't hate it, but getting Bruiser, not Brawler. I'm gonna get there. Um, for a Nectin would feel really good as well. But yeah, you see, it's just every unit possible is stealing kills from this Samira. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of the power in a cut above is just giving you a death blade for free. So it's not horrible if you don't farm a ton of free gold with it. But obviously, part of the power is in the fact that it gives you the ability to generate gold. So yeah. We could potentially hold on to Talia here. Like I said, he kind of knows that he's angling for he knows that he's angling for Akshan here. Looking at this spot also, I believe yeah, he double pumps for the level here to level for Rek'Sai. I mean I think it's pretty reasonable if you want to keep your streak. I don't know if there's anyone that actually needed to level. Like obviously this board he's going to beat every single time. Most of those boards look relatively weak, but there were a few that were close. If anyone else pushed level 5, you might need to push for this. I probably would, yeah, you just hold the Talia here in this situation. Okay, so going into Carousel, this Rod is just such like a bad item in Akshan. You don't really love Quincy, you don't really love Gunblade, so I'm really just looking to finish this sword item. Could be IE. I like IE a lot. We could also look for like a bow item for potentially turning into Renans, but we'll see. There's also a 3 cost. Okay, so yeah, I mean you can take sword here. I mean that's actually pretty much the only option. You don't really. I mean you could take cloak, I guess, and go for like a gargoyles or something. But yeah, like double deathblade seems decent. I don't believe that it works. I believe someone in his chat memes and is like, oh, now it's 80%. I don't believe it's champions holding a deathblade gain that. I don't think double deathblade means you're 80% to farm, but double deathblade is very very solid on Akshan. Just means his bullets are going to do a ton of damage and can just like one shot the enemy carry if you're opposite side. So I think this makes a good amount of sense. We can sell the Sona if we win the fight or if we farm any amount of gold. And that is at 2-5 our first gold farmed. So Pog, we are chilling. We can sell the Sona, but even maybe hold this Renekton as like replacement Renekton, but it's unlikely that we're going to need a replacement Renekton later, but we might, and if we really, really need it, we can just sell it later. But yeah, would really love to win this fight, obviously. We're on 4 streak, and still, like, most of the boards that we're fighting in this lobby are not that strong. So I think, I mean, this spot looks very good, honestly. Adding the Rek'Sai actually did a ton for this board. Keeping the Jhin, too, allowed us to have enough damage on this board to actually win a lot of these fights. So, maybe in hindsight, it was correct to make this Gen 2 over just like playing Vi, and like we maybe would have farmed some more gold, but we would have probably a weaker board at this point because we wouldn't have the Gen 2. And yeah, we're gonna win this fight as well. So that is 100 streak, 5 streak for a replay here at the end of stage 2. Very, very good position. Naturals and Akshan like a beast, and immediately is gonna swap items over and get Shurima in, because that is what you do. If especially if you're going to play this comp. Thinks about playing Chove or Rek'Sai. I mean, I'm pretty sure Rek'Sai is just better. Um, but yeah, he here I believe is talking about the possibility that you can farm with this on Krugs. I don't know. I mean, I don't trust tooltips anymore. I'm not even sure if you can farm on Krugs here. But yeah, it gets a 3-cost duplicator even, and then enough gold that he can make 40. He sells an extra Jin for fun, but I mean, it's not like he really needs Gen 3. So yeah. Um, I think, yeah, he opts to level here. I mean, if he scouts second place, I'm curious how strong they actually are, and if a Swain's gonna swing this. I mean, just a random Swain with no synergies is definitely not bad. But yeah, I mean, look at all these boards. They look relatively weak. Yeah, I'm not sure about this level. Like, aren't we winning this fight most of the time anyway? Especially, or all the time, especially with Bramblevest versus this JG Talia. Um, but I don't know. It is relatively close, right? Maybe, no, actually, it's probably true that Swain, I mean, they would have aggroed onto, I don't know, his backline's full HP here. I wonder if he actually wins this fight if he doesn't level here. Um, but yeah, it's 3-1. We will see what our augment is here, and we're just angling very aggressively for Akshan. He gets Jeweled Lotus dropped here. I'm pretty sure he was looking at the stats in this position, being like, well, the stats actually say Parting Gift is better, but like, I mean, there's no way in this position you don't take Jeweled Lotus with double Deathblade and a glove that could just become like Guard Breaker, and then you have like super BIS Akshan. I mean, it'd be nice to have Renans, but I mean, these items are obviously like completely fine. Yeah, I feel like it's got to be Jeweled Lotus here. Here's something I feel like I would roll in this position, because you have the duplicator and you're on a huge streak here, and you're playing this stupid Swain, which could be like 10 better units. I feel like you're just meant to roll in this situation to try to keep streak and try to continue to farm with this item, because like this fight's relatively rough, but like you could see how like if you have Akshan too. Oh no, he actually wins this fight. Okay. I think it's, I mean, spoilers, but I think it's next fight that he loses. He also sells Talia here, sells Lysandra, which I don't think I agree with, because now, like he hits Ashen Chop, and now he can't actually play Lysandra because he doesn't have it. So yeah, I mean, I think his idea is just to go sort of like a fast level 7 and then roll. But I don't know. I feel like the value of rolling on 6 is actually pretty high. But yeah, here's where he's like looking at the stats for Jeweled Lotus, which I mean is, I mean, 4.18 is not bad. He talks about how like it actually makes that setup worse if you look. He was looking at like Akshan plus Sejuani plus Nasus. If you have those units, it averages like a 4.09, but with Jewel Lotus it actually goes down. But I don't know. I mean, I still think it has to be best in this situation. But yeah, he fights this Darius player. I mean, I don't know. Would Akshan 2 plus like Freljord win this fight if he had stole the Lysandra? Maybe, but maybe not. Um, Obviously, one's Guardbreaker in this situation. You could also take like TG worst case, but then you're losing this glove for Akshan. Like worst case could be Hodge, but I mean, you really just want the straight up damage from the Guardbreaker, and he gets Guardbreaker here. So very, very good. A game is honestly going very, very well for replay at this point. 93 HP. He can just go past level 7 here, roll a little bit, just try to find something that he's happy about putting in. Gets 4 Deadeye in here, which is okay. Not amazing. Not even sure why he holds this Zed. Probably just to confuse himself for fun. Um, Gets the Nasus in. Skips all these Talias because he just doesn't want them. Does find a Rise, which is really, really strong on this uh, region with Freljord. Freljord Rise is very, very strong. Ends up having to take Hull Breacher here, which I think is the only real option. I guess you could take Trickster's Glass as your other option, but I don't know. I feel like Hull Breacher is actually pretty good in this situation to buy your frontline some time. You need a frontline item, right? You finished all your Action items. You just need frontline and an Akshan 3 at this point, and then you will be cruising. Sees another Akshan here, which is really good, especially with that duplicator. He does actually make Akshan 2 with the dupe here, which I don't really love as well, just because it's so close to the stage being over. He wants to get these two Deadeyes out, which makes a ton of sense, and just opts to play Lysandra plus Rek'Sai, which I think is his strongest board. It also allows him to make gold here by either selling the Casio or by winning or by farming 1 gold with this augment, which you've probably forgotten that we have an augment that actually farms us gold because we still haven't farmed gold in like infinite rounds, which is like a little bit unlucky, and then also a bit, it's just sort of like how his early game went, where he had to play 2 carries with the Jhin and the Samira. But yeah, 3/6, 81 HP, 30 gold, level 7, Akshan 2. Honestly, a really, really good spot. Natural's a second Nasus here. Like his spot is amazing. Um, and I mean, this is how, in general, Akshan is meant to be played, right? You play him ideally when you natural some early actions, when you have Death Blades or Anons that you can slam early, win some early fights, and then we're gonna stabilize. We're probably gonna take some damage this stage and then stabilize at like 5-1 on Akshan 3 is like the ideal world that we live in. He rolls a bit here, which I think makes a lot of sense. The question is how much do you roll in this position? I don't know. I would hope that this board is stable, but I mean his board is almost entirely 1-starred. Like this is the hard thing about this patch is knowing when to roll. I think Shroud's pretty good here. Yeah, I think you do have to build Shroud. I mean, you don't really want the glove for backline. The question is, what does this sword item become? BT Nasus or something? But yeah, his board's actually doing a ton of work. Okay, I want to slow down for this next part. I want to go normal speed on this next part just for fun. He sells Ash there, which I don't love. So here's options: Natural Bulwark, Think Fast, Stream a Crown. What would you guys take in this situation? I mean, there's only one answer. Um, yeah, I mean, Think Fast is too insane in this situation. It absolutely bails him out. It means you're basically guaranteed Action 3 in this spot, unless you're like 10-way contested, which you're not. You can also basically guarantee all your other 4-cost 2-starred. Does he have music playing during this, by the way? I would like to use his audio as well for this, because I think this is very instructive.
Think
No, he actually does. So I can't actually have his audio, but let's watch the roll down. Skips an Akshan, skips an Akshan. Okay, skips and Sejuani. Just to say that they're very good players in TFT who sometimes make mistakes. Very, very good players. I think myself, I definitely like beat myself up. Skips another Sejuani. I gets that Akshan, skips a Lysandra. He still doesn't have Lysandra too. Um, skips an Ash there, skips another Akshan. And this is like obviously Replay is a better player than I am. He's an absolute beast, and he fucking won a world championship. It just goes to show that everybody has rough games of TFT. Um, skips a. You just look at his face cam, and yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, this isn't the only reason I wanted to watch this game. Just to say Lamau at that Think Fast roll down, because that might be the funniest Think Fast roll down of a high elo player, especially a player of Replay's caliber who has literally won a world championship that I've ever seen. Like this guy was smurfing on like the best players in China, and he just does that like a beast. His face cam is so good. But let's look at the spot after Think Fast. We're still 81 HP. Our entire board is upgraded with the exception of Ash, Azir, and obviously we don't have Akshan 3, but we have 6 Akshans. Um, Even after that disastrous Think Fast roll down, his board is still really good actually. It's kind of insane. But yeah, like look at this. He's gonna win this fight just because of how strong Think Fast is. So another part of the reason why I want to Vadery this game is just Think Fast is just not like a balanced augment by any means. Like, do you see how many of the units that he actually needs on his board that he skipped? And he just He hits everything anyway. I think I'll take, like, Giant Swelter Tier here. I don't know what he actually takes here. Chain? I'm kinda looking for a he's just he's just I don't know, I love watching his face cam here. I feel like I want, like, a 3rd, like, really tanky item for Nasus, and we already have this Bramble, so I don't really feel that much need for armor. He's gonna sort of, like, tempo level here for the Scion, which is also just another really good addition to this comp. It means that it's gonna slow down his ability to hit Akshan 3, but he's hoping that this board's gonna be stable enough on 8. I'm not sure, I don't know. I feel like this comp really revolves around Akshan 3, so I probably would have sacked a couple more and just gone for Akshan 3 on 7, instead of getting the Scion in, but I don't know. I mean, I definitely see it. I mean, Scion's a really, really nice upgrade for this board. Also really fortunate positioning. He's actually pinging this guy. Um, that his Akshan one shots that Zed. Like if that fight goes slightly differently, Akshan just gets one shot. But Akshan actually does a really good job against units like Zed, against units like who am I thinking of? Yasuo as well, like RFC Yasuo, will like dash to the back line, and very frequently they will just like get themselves one shot against Akshan. But yeah, he's also playing a different version of the board than like the Chinese version that we've seen in the past. This version actually like has a duo carry in Azir instead of just solely relying around the Akshan. Actually, like this board looks like very solid, and then you can just get Jarvan in, who's another very strong unit. You can just like play around all of these 4 costs. But yeah, here's a RFC Yasuo, but ooh, he actually gets wrecked by he got mana reaved there, right? It looked like it, or maybe he just got infinite CC because actually there's nothing there that mana reaves unless they had a shroud or something. I thought he got mana reaved. Maybe he just I don't know. I can't go back using this player because I hit left. It's gonna go back 5 minutes instead of like 5 seconds. Um, so I don't know. Maybe he just got perma CC'd there. Maybe that's what it was because I don't know what would have mana reaved the other team. But yeah, I mean, still because of his early streak and because of Think Fast, he's 67 HP. He's still relatively stable, which is just so insane. But yeah, I mean that's the power of this augment. It is just nuts. Okay, I think I would just go Protector's GS here. I know what he ends up making. Um, now that I think about it, I think he does make those, but not where you would think. I would just be down to Protector's Vow, this Nasus to get it 3 items. He Protector's Vows the Jarvan, and then you are not gonna believe this, but he GS's his Nasus for 3rd item. Um, I don't know, it seems like a weird play, and maybe he's just trolling, but, like, if you actually look at the damage dealt from this Nasus, I don't know if this fight, but potentially I mean, definitely, like, next fight, like, 2k damage. It's like it actually doesn't look horrible, like 2,700 damage on this Nasus. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, gets another Azir here. I mean, at this point, he has to be looking for like Akshan 3. That's his like win con, his ability to like play the game con. Um, that's what's gonna stabilize him enough to like guarantee top 4 in this situation. So yeah, also pretty cool board from that player over there. Also, I think does he grief his yeah, he griefs his guard, whatever it is, stride breaker guard, whatever, here. But all good. Who cares? Who cares? Um oh look at their spot by the way. They have return on investment and they took the fawn augment at the end. Interesting. Yeah, he gets a little bit wrecked by this board. I mean it's a very strong board. I think it makes a lot of sense. And with the 2 healthy, like they can just fit infinite 2 cost. It's actually such a sick board with random like Soraka 3 on it. Actually, that board's insane. I don't know if I'd read that game. But yeah, he's gonna roll a bit here, roll it down to like 30. Ends up hitting the Azir 2, which is really, really nice here. And then, eventually he's going to roll for Akshan. This Nasus positioning, I mean, it's not even that bad, I guess, because we have GS, so you actually want the Nasus to live as long as possible. Also, we managed to dodge the Yasuo here, which is really good. And I'm not sure if he's doing this consciously, but his Azir positioning is actually very solid because it can bait Yasuo ult potentially with RFC. If you guys haven't seen the positioning tech versus RFC Yasuo, his Akshan's in this corner. If you put a unit in this hex right here, right where the Azir is, and they put their RFC Yasuo here, there's a chance that instead of ulting there, it'll just ult the Azir. So it's pretty helpful. Um, Item-wise here, I don't actually remember what he ends up going. Oh, I do remember what he ends up going for. He ends up going for Q-Cone, which is pretty interesting. I probably would have just taken Static Shift to get an Azir item, but he takes it for the Jarvan for just the MR and mana. It's kind of a cool decision. Um, because they just buffed the starting mana and MR of Q-Cone, so it actually seems like a solid like tank item to put on someone like Jarvan. Means Jarvan's always going to instacast and gives him some MR to work with. I kind of like it. But yeah, I mean, look at this lobby. He actually is top 3 in this lobby after that Think Fast roll done, just because of the power of Think Fast, just because it allowed him to two-star his entire front line. I mean, imagine if he had even hit Akshan 3 there, like, he just says Akshan 3, and the game is just like, he's allowed to go like the fastest 9 of his life and then cap out his board really high. Like, he'd have this board, except he'd have Akshan 3, would have saved infinite HP. He rolls a bit here and finds 2 Akshans, so all he needs to do is roll down and find one more. Um, However, Mort Dog can be cruel sometimes and decides to punish him for not hitting the Akshan earlier, and he misses on Akshan 3 here. So yeah, I mean, he's up against that insane Talia board and Casper's insane level up level 9 Hail 3 board. So I mean, this game definitely seems kind of doomed from this spot. Just like third is probably the best that you can get out of it. Down to 10 HP here. If he can hit Akshan, maybe he can save some HP. But I mean, both of these players are win streaking. So it's going to be a huge uphill battle to try to do anything better than a third. But yeah, I mean, just to sort of like put my conclusion on the essay that is this and then it may be something crazy will happen in the last few fights. I don't know. My conclusion on the essay that is this game, one, think fast is broken. Two, the best players in the game make mistakes sometimes. You see a player like Rui play with an insane pedigree, one of I mean, the GOAT of North America, I would say. By winning a world championship, you have to say that he's, the best player that NA has ever had, because no one has been able to do that, and his performance was just so dominant at the world championship. But like I don't know, TFT is a game where if you're not constantly at the top of your game, it can sometimes feel like you're just terrible. You know, like, I will have metas where I feel like I am insanely good, and then I'll have a meta where I'm like, I don't know what's going on, like, I don't know how to play. I've completely forgotten how to play the game, and I think this happens consistently to people. I remember, someone like Asa, in the past who was very, very high elo, and then a new set would drop or something like that, and he'd be like, I don't know how to play the game. I need to like take a break from streaming because like I'm unconfident in my own ability to play the game. And I think that's something that happens to everyone in TFT, and you just sort of have to. I think replay has an amazing mindset. You just have to laugh it off and just be like, okay, okay, I trolled this game. It's all good. I learned to click on auctions next time, and then just laugh it off, have a good time, and then keep grinding and do your best to get better. Um, but yeah, I mean, a third from this spot is obviously like amazing. Should be very, very happy with a third here in a very strong lobby. He's still like 900 LP, which is better than probably 99.9% of the people watching this video and myself, of course. So obviously still a beast. Obviously respect the hell out of replay. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this VOD review. It was an absolute roller coaster. I saw him play this game live, and I was like, I gotta watch this game back. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, check my Twitch, all my other links, my Discord, my Twitter down below. Thank you for watching. Bye.